Good morning, I'm Adam Sexton. She's been at the helm of New Hampshire's biggest governmental department, Health and Human Services, through 12 months of COVID-19. This week, as we head into our second year of the pandemic, we're checking in with Commissioner Laurie Shibnett. Commissioner, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me on.
Let's begin with long-term care. How delicate is the balance you need to strike in the weeks ahead as you get facilities to open up visitation, but you've still got the virus widespread and the vaccination rate is just building?
Yes, so long-term care, is a huge passion for me. And, I just got off a call with them, the long-term care providers, and they're scared, but they're doing a great job. The one thing that we need to focus on is quality of life. And I've said this before, for 20 years, we've talked about quality of life in long-term care. And our residents need to have their families in their life to have that quality of life. So you're right, striking that balance, making sure that they have the medical care, the protection from the vaccine, therapeutics if they need it, monoclonal antibodies available if they become symptomatic, and have the families in their lives to have that quality of life.
As we analyze the response here, and this has been amazing progress in just the last few months, but I'm curious, looking back at having the pharmacies do the vaccines in the long-term care facilities and the success that West Virginia was able to have, would it have been faster if the state had done this?
It probably would have been faster, yes. We did not like the speed on which that the long-term care facility, the pharmacy partner program got rolled out, but it did provide a consistent effort across the state. And that was one thing that we may have struggled with a little bit is, with the pharmacy partner program doing it, the North Country and the southern part of the state more or less got vaccine around the same time. So there was a consistent effort across the state and everybody got access around the same time. We would have liked to see it faster. I think we can say that across the board with all of our vaccination. The faster we can do it, the better.
Take us through the homebound vaccination program. Obviously, that was something that was discussed in the briefing this last week. How do you reach all of these people? I know you said that the population is smaller than you expected, but how long is it going to take to get to all of those people who can't get to the fixed sites?
We're planning on probably 4 to 6 weeks, realistically. So what we found when we went into the homebound population is that a lot had family members that had come and made an appointment, took them to a clinic, and they were already vaccinated. So what we have now is basically a list of people that could not get out. And really, it's about logistics, right? It is about, in 10 square miles, are there 10 people that need the vaccine and can we schedule them for the same day? And then we're using our community BNA programs, our community home care agencies, our EMS. A lot of communities have fire and EMS doing these vaccines for us, our public health networks, and a lot of private providers. And it's really about logistics, getting the right people at the right streets and the right addresses to get the vaccine out the door.
When do you think we're going to see the transition from statewide crisis to something where COVID-19 is managed at your physician's office or strictly at the hospital?
I think that you're seeing that coming probably spring into summer. We anticipate that our numbers are going to normally go down spring and summer through the vaccination program and just really seasonal variability in respiratory illness. We often see that in New Hampshire, that as the weather warms up, we get outside, we see less respiratory illness. So as those numbers go down, I think you're going to see us take advantage of re-engaging with the healthcare system. I mean, they're taking on a lot of COVID now. They do a lot of our testing, but going and getting the vaccination at your family physician's office, I think you're seeing that coming probably this summer, definitely early fall.
You talk about the seasonality there. It's very likely we'll see numbers collapse, and they really did last year as well. There's probably going to be a euphoric reaction. How do you prepare for the opposite of euphoria, the depression that's going to sit in, potentially panic, when we do see that bump in COVID again, potentially in the fall?
So everybody needs to be prepared for it, right? COVID is not going to go away. COVID's going to stay in the background or maybe even in the forefront, depending on what season it is and how many outbreaks we have. But we can expect to see a dip coming this late spring through the summer. And then in the fall, just like normal respiratory illness season, when you come into late October, November, December, there is likely you're going to see COVID again. Not that it's going to go away through the summer. There will be a low level of COVID in our communities all the time. The goal, right, is to find that balance between acceptance and panic, so that when you see COVID starting to rise in our community, we know that we have immunizations for those that are vulnerable, and we have therapeutics to treat people that get really sick on it. So it's really about not going into fear. It's not about shutting things down again. It is really about managing it within the community and protecting the most vulnerable people.
So there's not going to be that cinematic happy ending, if you will, that so many people would probably want to see here. So what does victory look like to you? Or is that a concept that is just not appropriate when we're talking about a virus?
Yeah, victory is a tough concept right now in the middle of COVID. I think making sure that everybody that wants a vaccine has accessibility, the vaccine is accessible to them. I think that is for sure victory. Making sure that our seniors and those with medical vulnerabilities are protected, that is a victory. We are not going to, I don't believe we are going to see the day this year or even next year where we can say COVID is gone from our society forever. I think what is more likely is an evolution that we will be able to be successful in the treatment of COVID and the protection of those that are vulnerable.
One of the biggest unknowns in the months ahead is how long these vaccines provide protection from COVID-19. I guess give us a sense of how much that changes the trajectory of how this works if we do see the vaccine effectiveness wear off, say, after 10 to 12 months.
Right. So, we don't know how long, and ideally, we would all love to have lifetime protection. That would be a victory. If going back to your first question, if they came out and said you have lifetime protection against COVID, that would be victory for everybody with the vaccine. But it's likely that it's not, and that we will need boosters. So ideally, every year we're going to see boosters, similar to how we get the flu shot every year. You may end up seeing a COVID booster each year, depending on our protection level.
What do you think about seeing these states that are abandoning pandemic guidance and mask mandates? What's your reaction to that?
Not ready yet. I think it's soon. I definitely think it's soon. I think it's coming into April, May, in that time frame. But right now, if you look at, we have less than 10% of our population fully vaccinated, and we need a little bit more than that, I think. I think we're not done phase 1B yet. We still have seniors in our community that are not vaccinated. I think we need to give it another 4, 6, 8 weeks before we're ready and continue to see this consistent trend downward.
How does your approach to vaccination change in the weeks and months ahead? Now, obviously, it's a much older population. It's the large group that is going through right now, but the folks are going to get younger, and you're probably going to have to try to make getting a vaccine cool as we go forward.
Vaccination is cool. Everybody's going to get one. That's what I keep telling everybody. We learned a lot in system development and system evolution. We learned very quickly that our phase 1B folks didn't rely as much on internet and texting and things like that, and we needed to be very call center centric, and Harry Plummer did a fantastic job with public health setting up a center that really could take care of the needs. Now, as we get into the younger population, I think that we're going to probably use some of our other tools in our toolbox, like mass text messaging, to say, text back if you can do this date for a vaccine, because we know that, I know that I have 3 boys in their 20s, and I can't get any of them to answer the phone, right? But they will answer a text, and so those are the strategies we need to employ when we start dealing with our younger generation, for sure.
Let's talk about the mental health aspect of this as we wrap up here. This has been tough for everyone. I'm curious, for the public health team, you guys have been on the forefront of this for a long time. How is your team holding up right now?
I have a team of troopers. I'm so proud of everybody. I think that we are tired, like all of New Hampshire, right? We want COVID to be over. We want to have good work-life balance. We want to go back out and do all the things that made our lives joyful. So we're waiting for that. But yeah, we're working hard to try to get to the end so that we can bring some normalcy both to our lives and to the lives of the citizens of New Hampshire.
All right, Commissioner Shibinette, thanks for joining us on Close Up.
Thank you.